Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt. It is RYLA Routine, episode 24. I'm here with our man, Ricky. How are you, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good, good, good. So tell it where are you at today?
At the school library, kind of have to get away from all the parents and stuff. So,
Yeah, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right?
hmm
Awesome. Awesome. Now, are you engaged in Interact?
yeah.
How big tell me a little bit about your Interact club.
Well, basically, I guess our mission right now, because we have I guess, McLean store closet where we get to bring the clothes for people that need to use it. So
Okay.
that's like our biggest project, and then we have some like other projects where we send medical supplies to like people that need them, and
So
then
the clothes closet that where do you guys get clothes for that? And I assume that's for students. So like if a student needed something, a student could go, probably go to a teacher or something and get those items.
It's just one of our classrooms where we have a whole bunch of clothes in there. Basically, we just have people bring in clothes. They talk to like the head person, I guess, that's like in charge of the clothes closet, and then
Okay.
for those who need it, they just go in there and get the clothes they need.
Have you been were you now what I know is I know you went to camp in March of this year and then came back as a CIT. Were you in Interact before you went to RYLA?
Yeah, I just wasn't that involved with it until
Okay.
like this year.
Okay. So you were engaged. Like you've seen Interact for a few different ways. So how did you find out about RYLA?
More or less, I had one of my friends just kind of ask me, was like, "Yo, you want to go to this camp?" And then they talked to the teacher. They're like, "Oh yeah, you should sign up." I was like, "All right." So just more or less, they kind of just told me about a camp that's going on, and I'd never been camping outside of like outside the city. So like actually staying there was pretty cool.
So you had a friend go. How many kids came from McLean this year? Back in
Uh,
March.
I'd say about like, hmm, give or take maybe like 5 to 7 people.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, McLean's one of my honestly like one of my favorite places in Tulsa. I know that's like many people are like, oh, where's McLean at? I mean, you say North Tulsa, and some people are like, oh, like no, like that's absolutely one of my favorite places. I just love the spirit of people in our community. Um, and so to have kids from McLean be able to come to camp is huge for me. And I know Brett Bruff's a huge part of getting kids from McLean um, down to camp. Um, so you're part of Interact, so you find out about camp. What tell me about coming to camp. Like when you got to camp, what'd you think? Like talk about your camper year a little bit.
All right, so I guess my camp year. I mean, when I got in the whole thing, I didn't know we were supposed to go through the tunnel. I was trying to avoid it because it's like there was way too many people and it was pretty loud, and I was really anxious.
Yeah.
And it turns out, they were gonna give us our own tribe, so I was basically kind of on my own, more or say.
Right.
So
So you got 5 or 7 kids coming from McLean, and all of a sudden you're with a group of people you don't know. How did that feel?
it was quite interesting. I mean, that first day, really had to go to the bathroom, so I went to use it because I was just, I don't know, I needed to go. I came back and everyone was gone, so I was even more afraid.
What when you do when you think back to Ryla and you think back to like I get to camp and like my first day. I mean, now that you've been a CIT, you fully the schedule and everything. Like as a camper, what was your favorite thing about camp as a camper?
Um, my favorite thing about camp was actually going about that wall because
Okay.
I heard there's a pretty giant wall that you have to climb over. So I was like, oh, like that's what we get to climb over, and I thought it was just gonna be like one tribe helping you out, but I was mistaken. After a whole bunch of people were there to help me up, so it was honestly quite a big deal for me.
Tell me more about that. What made it a big deal?
I mean, because they told me about it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like, you're gonna climb over this wall, and your tribe's gonna be there to help you out. And so in my mind, I thought it was just my little mini tribe helping me out get over that wall. But then it turns out it was actually all tribes working together to help people get over that wall,
Gotcha.
which I don't know, it was pretty cool because I was actually able to go over it. So
When you think about camp and you think about like the components of camp and like not necessarily like the wall or things like that, Amazing Race, what are some things as a camper that you took away from camp?
The things I took away was definitely my element to see what like I actually was and everything. Uh, Turns out I'm actually a water wind,
Okay.
and I like to just kind of be in a cool situation, but then when something happens, I like to just kind of freestyle it, just kind of go for it.
Okay. How do you you go to camp and you come back to McLean? Like how do you any changes or even at home? Like how did you implement your element?
I implemented it. I mean, because I came back a totally different person. I came in with a whole bunch of anxiety coming in, but went to therapy and stuff, and it just my anxiety was disappeared after I went to camp.
Oh
I
wow.
actually felt more and more confident. Got to be more myself and everything. So it was also really cool coming back to real life and reality, knowing that what I took away from there gave me a boost of confidence that I needed in life. So,
Awesome. So you talk about that boost of confidence and you talk about those things. Like how does Ricky like how do you maintain that? Like how do you because like I kind of create this analogy like it's like church camp. Like people go to church camp and they're on this high, like everything feels great, like and then all of a sudden you're back in reality. And I say this like you're back in North Tulsa, you're back hanging out at McLean, and like not not every student's engaged. Like how do you maintain being here when you come out of camp and like all of a sudden I've got these assets? Like how do you keep yourself up there?
I guess I actually did, get more involved with the inter club. So, I actually decided to, I guess, officially become a member
Okay.
and kind of just helped out more, and also did a lot of band stuff as well. So it's pretty engaged with band, a lot of JRTC stuff, and as well as inter club. So.
Do you think? Tell me a little bit about that. Do you think like I mean I this is Matt's belief. My belief is that when we're around other people, we're much better, right? And when we surround ourselves with people that have common themes, like if you're talking band, right? So you got people that have a common goal and a common theme, and like, what value do you think that brings whenever you're talking about being here versus like if Ricky just went back and like just kind of went back into being by himself when it comes to getting around a group of people, what about the impacts of being around a group?
The impacts about being in the group. That's actually a big question though.
Because I
Um,
mean, interact by officially becoming a member. I mean, you become more engaged, right? And you become more engaged in that group. I mean, the impacts of being part of that group. What does that look like?
more or less helping out others that really need help and everything, because I was one of them help, especially with the mental health and everything. I ended up stopping and go to therapy afterwards because I just felt that kind of boost of confidence and the belief I can actually do things without going to
Sure,
therapy.
sure. So you went to camp, you come back. Tell me, we're right now in a window where people have 11 days to apply to come back as a CIT or chief. Tell me more about like why did you make the decision to come back as a CIT?
I honestly, because like it really helped me boost up like who I was as a person. So coming back as a CIT, I kind of wanted to actually know what my thumbprint is more, kind of just share that thumbprint to other people. Because I know a lot of people that come into camp, you gotta know what to expect. It's
Yeah.
they're gonna be like me, either really anxious and trying to avoid everyone else.
So
And
tell me more, and you don't have to tell me everything, but like, what is Ricky's thumbprint?
Ricky Stumpert, um, I take my story of when I was a camper, coming up with a whole bunch of bad anxiety to, taking on anxiety, kind of push it away, bringing a little bit of confidence in, and then just kind of be myself and how actually like, help out people, tell them, I was there, I felt what you felt, and I'm trying to help you out from there. So,
Okay, so you get to come back as a CIT. Tell me, tell me about, so you see camp as a camper, and now as a CIT, like, that's a different ballgame, right? Now
mhm.
you're responsible. tell me, tell me more about what was it like to serve in that capacity?
Man, CATAU was actually really fun. I ain't gonna lie, because I get to see, the actual schedule, the actual like Disneyland part of it,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it was really cool because I'm like, hey, I can just kind of let the campers don't know what they're, expecting, just let them kind of be surprised when it happens, you know.
Sure.
And then
What was the most challenging part of being a CIT?
I guess it was my confidence whenever the drive times happen, you know, because we have to ask questions and more stuff like that. I was kind of the person that didn't really ask that many questions because of the lack of confidence I got. But
Okay.
after a while, I was able to actually ask a lot of questions that last night. So,
What do you believe was your favorite part of being a CIT and being back at camp?
ooh, man, being a CAT, man, that's a hard one, really. Um, because you know we didn't really do the ropes course at all because you know it was closed down. So
Right.
I was actually kind of the last person to get on the thing, but also help out people that kind of need the help, as well as also be afraid too, because I'm not really good with heights that much, but
Uh-huh.
I overcame it. So,
What do you when you look at like all the activities of camp as a CIT and as a person on staff, you mentioned the Disneyland aspect of like getting to see the schedule.
mhm.
What was your favorite part of the schedule?
Man, it was like actually like being there at the moment and like, you know, you guys telling us what is gonna happen. And so, you know, we just have to like start planning and everything, which I'm not really a good planner, which is why I'm a win. But, you know, y'all were actually making the plan and all we have to do is just follow that plan.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it's interesting. You went back to your element there because I think yeah, as a win, like okay, we'll go where we go. Like we can get there. Like the little disruption's not going to bother you too much.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to like watching your campers, are there a couple of things you saw with your campers that were like, hey, that's pretty cool, or like, hey, I didn't think I'd see that. Because you're right, the whole Disneyland aspect, like now you see things from a different perspective, right? So I stand
Mhm.
over here and I see one thing, I move over here and I see another. What about being as a CIT? What are some things that you saw some campers do or saw some campers accomplish that you thought was pretty cool?
Um, the fact that they were able to actually take lead whenever the skip was happening, like they just took over, you know, they made up the ideas and they all agreed on the ideas and they just kind of went with the flow, you know. They all just decided to do one idea and they wrote for it.
Yeah.
Oh, because I was
What?
like,
Go
you know, I
ahead.
still I can kind of help them out. So, you know,
Do you when you think about individuals that are looking to apply to come back as a CIT. Like I said, we'll put this out on Sunday. If people were like, I don't know if I can be a CIT, like I don't know if that's my thing. What would you say to those people?
um, it's not too late to be a CT, man. Like all you need is just confidence and good leadership skills. If you got those you got the two things under the rug, you should be rolling, you know?
Yeah,
Like honestly, just believe in what you gotta do. All right. What you feel is right, do it.
yeah. I think you mentioned something there. It's really, really important, really cool. And that's confidence piece, right? And what I heard you say earlier is, Ricky before camp may not have had that confidence.
Hmm.
Maybe was a little concerned, a little bit, not as progressive in his leadership, was really willing to probably allow some other folks to step up. Is that appropriate for me to say? So what do you think? Where do you think in camp you really saw that point as a camper? Like I can do this.
Um,
Like where you gained that confidence. Like what was it? One thing? Was it multiple things that really gave you that confidence to come back and step into these leadership roles that you've stepped into?
I guess it was more or less a skip because you know I was still kind of a little nervous and stuff, you know, my camper year. And so after doing the skit, it just I completely opened up. I was actually able to talk to a lot of the new campers and stuff and actually get to see their side of the story. It was quite really interesting, I will say, you know. Like I could see their side of the story of their life and how, you know, they came over here and just kind of connected with a lot of people after that. So
Do you tell me more on the band side? What instrument do you play?
I played the euphonium or baritone. It's a part of
Okay.
the
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's awesome. Um, how how do you see how I asked you before this, like you're about to graduate, right? And you're gonna go to college next year. How do you see because college is different than high
like
school.
yeah, it's
How do you see yourself continuing to play a role in leadership and using, using your confidence after you leave McLean?
Um, See, my plan is after, I'm gonna try to do, or at least come to the school. Obviously, I'm gonna visit the band, see how they're doing, but like try to help them out, see if they need anything, like knowing what kind of song they're thinking, so I can teach them how to play the music. Because
Okay.
I can kind of show up and help them out. So,
Yeah. Awesome. 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 What what opportunities, you know, tell me something you've done in the past 6 weeks that you're really proud of. I haven't asked anybody this question, so I'm gonna ask you, what have you done in the past 6 weeks that you're proud of?
okay, things I've done in the past 6 weeks, I'm more or less been going to my work and doing stuff, was the superintendent's review for the JRTC program. They told me you are been selected to be the battalion commander, and so you're gonna be leading everyone, and you're also gonna get an award for it. So,
Wow. So you're in you're in JROTC there at McLean, and so if I
mhm,
remember correctly, you've got a banquet tonight, right?
yep,
And so today's Friday, just for the sake of conversation. So you're getting an award tonight.
hmm,
Oh, that's
multiple
awesome.
awards, yeah, and
That's
then
that's awesome. Congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
So tell me about leading the JRTC. Like tell me about that. Like what's that like getting to step into a role like that? Because I mean that's another leadership role that you've stepped into. How's that, how's that?
It was honestly quite weird though, because I was like in front of everyone else, and it's a lot of people, so I, had to go and raise up my voice a little bit because I'm not really that loud of a person. Maybe I am, but sometimes I see myself as a little quiet person. But
Gotcha.
you know, I kind of messed up during rehearsals before, but I actually didn't mess up afterwards. So
Awesome.
I went to rehearsals. I met another like couple battalion commanders from other schools. It was quite interesting because we were all on the same boat. We weren't really sure what we're doing, but
Yeah.
we know we're gonna succeed afterwards. So
Awesome. And so tonight's the is it I said is it a gala?
more or less kind of a gala. So we
Gotcha.
just, and I'm also doing color guard for that too. So
Awesome. Where do you stand in the color guard? Like what are you?
I think I'm a flag. I've only done flag right now. So
Okay. Well, awesome, man. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, based on the JROTC side of things, I mean, what was your perception as a camper of the flag ceremony at camp?
no, I mean, because I was actually able to do the flag ceremony with it, which was pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, cutting the little flag, and
Had you ever seen a flag retired?
I've actually never until camper year. So
Yeah,
it was.
my same with me. That's what's crazy. Like, here I'm at 41. Like the first time I ever saw it retired was back in 13 or 12 when I was running camp for the first time. Like I I mean, just an amazing experience to see it happen. Um, do you when it comes to that retirement of the flag, do you have like, I mean, what did that feel like as a camper?
As a camper, it was obviously really cold, so I was kind of just trying to get warm. But it was really interesting, seeing a whole flag burn because I'm like, what the heck is going on? I guess it makes sense that they're retiring it because it's been there for like a long time.
Right?
Like let go of the old and get with the new is what people say now. So,
Yeah. Do you have you been in Tulsa your whole life?
not my whole life. I've been in a little city called Streeter back in Chicago or Illinois.
Okay.
I've lived there for about 7 years and then moved here when I was like 8.
Okay. So between Chicago and Tulsa.
Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I kind of as we wrap this up, I'm gonna kind of kick it to you, but you know what insight knowing that the application process for campers is about to open up here in the next, it opens up May 1st, knowing the application closes for CITs and Chiefs. Um, you know, you got what words of wisdom does Ricky have?
Um, Honestly, just believe in what you gotta do. And if you feel like you want to go into this camp and kind of learn about yourself, so you totally join, man. I mean, the brotherly pays for you. It's everything free. So yeah, just show up, have fun, learn about yourself, experience new things.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. And I will say again, I know that we're recording this on Friday, but um, congratulations on the JROTC side of things. I mean, that's awesome that you're willing to step up and serve. Um, that means a lot to, everybody finds success in multiple different ways. And for you to find the success you found there, as well as in the band, being willing to step up and lead others is huge. and finish out that service. You know, you got about 4 weeks left of school. Then you get to graduate and move on down the road per se. But I appreciate the service that you provided. You provided Rotary and you provided RYLA. But guys, that's Ricky. I'm Matt, episode 24. I appreciate you, brother. I hope you have a great evening at your event. And we'll look forward to talking to you again next week with the RYLA routine. And have an awesome day and stay blessed.
All right. Thank you.